Okay, so part three, what are some of the most common ways that a parent can put a spell on a child, a curse on a child, bewitch a child? Sorry, H2O. It's so hot that honestly, it has to be icy. I know plastic is bad. I'm doing like a bit of upcycling for like 3 or 4 uses, but yes, it is bad. What are some of the common ways that a parent that we see? The tongue is the greatest of them all. Where I want to give the ones that just are there. A statement that is so heavy, but is said so lightly and appears fluffy and light. So perhaps you bring a partner to introduce them to your parent, and your parent is real friendly and they're getting along and everything is all grand and good. And perhaps just offside, kind of coming from left field, you don't see it coming, or it just like the statement that just drops in so silently. And what's a good example? Okay, let's say the parent then says, he used to get quite rough with the girls growing up. And let's say maybe he's someone who is kind of chilled or something like that. And so now their partner's like, oh, I mean, that's their mother saying that, that's their father saying that. Is this person violent? Can they get aggressive, etc., etc.? And then what begins to build up is all kinds of questions where now your partner is asking you, so why did your relationship, who's that girl that you said you dated? When? This is a seemingly completely harmless example. But if a parent wants to take everything that comes with the child and have it for themselves, then because of this divine connection, a parent can see that the chances of their son marrying this girl is very likely, very high. One of two things often happen. Either it is celebrated and encouraged and then sometimes, unfortunately, immediately it is seen as something to destroy because he or she gets in the way of that which you want to gain or benefit from this child. And so all those seemingly little statements that seem so insignificant at the time, when you actually look at the damage they begin to cause in your life, you realize that maybe it is not such an innocent statement. Sometimes a parent, instead of encouraging a child in a moment of weakness, they will not say, I hope you meet someone who will love you and be so soft with you that you see all of yourself. But rather they say, like that, you will never meet anyone who can love you like that. And then you as the child, you internalize it because why? That divine connection between parent and child. And this is why it is the greatest of betrayals when parents do not do right by their children. When parents take their children to spellcasters and find out what that child is and dedicate that child to that spellcaster and say, you give me all of this and I will give you my child. I will sacrifice my own child for this. At the very end of it, that you will get that amongst other things that you get along the way. And people will say, but can a parent be so cruel? I have found that, and I'm sure many people have found this, that when you begin to look at people as people and not as the titles and the roles that they occupy in your life, it allows an objectivity that can bring you a freedom that is second to none. So it's in a world where we are here to help each other evolve and be better in all kinds of ways, it is also a betrayal to love itself, to not allow someone to go through the motions, to not find the inevitabilities of their behaviors. And I am not talking about dishing out someone's karma. I'm just saying that whatever is due to a person is due to a person. And so in a situation like that where you wonder why would a parent do something, you immediately make it very difficult for yourself to break free of that which the parent is doing to you. Because, I was thinking actually of how, if you think of it as a chakra system, why it is important to move along gradually, is that when I was saying a video or two ago about how if someone is not at a certain place, you cannot force them to engage with the world in a certain way. That if someone has taken time out in a corner, and now you're saying, oh, maybe just ask the people in your life for a timeout, but perhaps they're not there yet in themselves to be able to do that. And so I can't say immediately just own it and say, I don't need this person or whatever, but begin at the root chakra where you say, I am. I am worthy of healing. I am worthy of whatever it is that this experience has made you feel unworthy of. And you work up the chakra system of I am, I feel, I know, etc., etc. And I did, and eventually the I completely falls away. But if we're still at the beginning, do not spend too much time trying to figure out why they would do it. Understand and accept that it is done. It is a lonely thing and a painful thing, a heartbreaking thing to know. But you must know that it is done. But I have been saying for a long time that whomever has done anything to a child, however old that child is, that child could be in their 60s for all I know at this point. But a child they remain. And the children will kneel you to your atonement. And every time this message comes to me, I just see people, the truth, the revelations of who they are. And not because someone reveals it, but the children kneel them to their atonement. And I just saw all these people on their knees. Truth coming out. So I'm going to end it here. 3 parts is a good part. We don't want to get boring and too long about it. But what you need to know is that you are safe. There are many ways to break the curses that people place on your being. You do not need to be afraid. But yes, a timeout is a great way to see who's who in your zoo. It is also advisable to use onion to help you in that process. And when you're sharing the information, remember to surround yourself with a lot of protective energy. It's if you access crystals, if you access this, if you access that, then great. But also water is a great protector, just to have that in a glass or whatever, But a glass is preferable, any just kind of jar. But you are safe and all is well, and such is life. Yeah? I love you.